Well, hello and welcome to the Internal Mobility Podcast, where we explore all of the ways for you to reach your potential here at Randstad while also making this giant company a little easier to know and understand. Today, our guest is Beth Mullins. Beth is a Senior Vice President in our OTF specialty, specifically within RIF, and she has just celebrated her 29th Randstad anniversary. Welcome, Beth.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, Chris.
Well, thanks for being here. Tell us, what has kept you here at Randstad for 29 years?
I get that question a lot. I was hired fresh out of college. Thought I wanted to work in mental health. I went and worked for a hospital for about a year and a half and quickly realized that that was not for me. I had a friend who worked at Randstad and she said, "Hey, come by and bring your resume and meet my boss." And I was like, okay. So I walked into a branch location, handed my resume to her boss and got a call back for an interview. And I thought, okay, I can do this. And then I quickly realized that, oh no, sales is part of this job. I didn't have the sales experience. But it was interesting because I thought I probably couldn't do sales, So it was uncomfortable for me, but I pushed through because I liked the organization. The people were dynamic. I enjoyed working with the people in the branch. And I just set my goals to meet every expectation that was laid out for me by my boss and the branch manager. And the more I did the sales, the more comfortable I got with it. And it's interesting now, fast forward 29 years, and sales is the majority of my job. So it's been a long road, but I think a lot of times out of those uncomfortable situations, that's where the growth happens. And that's what's happened with me throughout my career of the last 29 years with Randstad.
I've definitely found that to be true. Wouldn't it be great when you were happy as you could be that you experienced crazy amounts of personal growth? But it really does happen whenever you're figuring something out, something that you don't already know how to do. That's right. A really great way to look at that.
Yeah, and then over the years when I was, different times in my life, Randstad offered me something that kept me here. For many years, it was just the career progression from staffing consultant to staffing manager to branch manager to managing multiple branches. And then, for a period of time in my life, my focus was I want to be available for my family. I want to make sure that work-life balance is there and that I don't miss a Valentine party at school or any party at school or any sporting event in the afternoon. So Randstad was always very flexible and knew that work-life balance was most important to me at that period of time. So fast forward 20 something years later, my daughter's in college and doesn't need me as much. 2018, I stepped out of my comfort zone again to go into RIS, into this VP role where, I had to call on large multi-million-dollar accounts. And again, growth out of being a little bit uncomfortable. But along the way, Randstad's always known what was most important to me and kind of catered to that.
I've had a very similar experience in my career as an empty nester now, very different than 15 years ago with a little running around the house. And Randstad was there to make certain I had the right environment to contribute at the level that made sense for that point in my life. It's beautiful. So what about somebody who is not in a season where they're focused on balance? They're going all after their career and they want to be a senior leader like you. What advice would you give to them?
I would say be patient. Good things don't happen sometimes overnight. There's steps along the way. And luckily you work for an organization that lays out those steps very, very clearly and helps you get where you need to be. And I would say, what I have done is focus on others, focus on serving my client, serving my talent, serving my colleague, being the one that when the order comes in at Friday at 5 o'clock and they need 10 people Monday morning and your colleague is stressed out, you stay and help get those orders filled. Or, that talent who can't seem to get to work on time every day, that you spend a little bit of extra time coaching that employee. And through doing those things, I think you naturally get noticed and recognized for the efforts, and the growth happens naturally, but it doesn't happen overnight. I think you do have to, put forth the effort and maybe not be so inwardly focused, but outwardly focused on how you can help others. And I tell everybody that I interview to come into the organization, this is a people company. And if you don't have a heart for people and a passion to help other people, then you could probably do the job, but you might not ever be excellent at it, because that's so much ingrained in what we do as an organization. And so for that, I think it's important just to stay patient and trust the process. You know that it will happen over time, and if you're putting forth the effort. And luckily, we have an organization that lays it out. Like I said, the expectations are very clear. Just work toward those, and you'll get there.
I love it. Serve others. That's exactly right. Like, as I reflect on, all of our senior leaders made a habit of taking good care of other people. And you're right, we work in a company where that gets noticed.
Right.
It's awesome. What would you say we have as an employer that really sets us apart? You've mentioned a few things, right? Culture, the habit of service, clarity. If you want to know how to become successful, it's very, very clear. Like, what else do you think we offer that other companies don't?
Well, obviously the vast size of the organization, there's so many opportunities, and the company is willing to take those steps to move you where you need to be. And through our great conversations, there's the 3 E's. You may want to take a sidestep into something totally different, or you may just want to continue to grow in the role that you're in, but those opportunities are there, and we lead through those conversations to make sure we know as leaders where you want to be, and help you work the steps to get there. And you're lucky to be a part of an organization that just has the size, and the opportunities in different lines of business, that we can work together to make sure that the opportunities are well laid out.
Great. Now, how about a partner for talent story from the last couple of weeks? Do you have one of those handy?
Well, I actually do. I thought about, this happened just Friday night, moving into a holiday weekend this past weekend. And I was with my daughter, who was home from college, at the grocery store. And I ran into one of my clients and walked up, spoke to him, and he introduced his wife. And he said, "This is Beth. She's Randstad. We've worked with her." He was at another organization where we supported him, and now he works for a huge 3PL, and he's at a different building and different city, and we're still working together. And the fact that she knew who I was because he comes home and tells her that we're the company that gets him the best talent. And so I was very excited. I left there like on cloud 9 because, not only was my daughter able to hear that I'm a good partner to this person, and that she got to meet his family, but that's what it's all about. And those types of relationships, again, don't happen overnight. And, I've worked with him, back in 2012, and now I'm working with him in 2024, just a different company, but he still sees me as Randstad, and that we're the best partner to get quality talent. And so those types of things just make me happy, getting that type of feedback outside of the office. So
beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. And thanks too for being here, Beth.